All right, hello everyone. This has been this has been a pain this morning. So hope everybody is doing well. I think I see Nico's already here. How are you doing, Nico? So I think everything is going to be different, and I'm going to have to mess with it. So I don't know. Yeah, I got all kinds of shading. So I had to get a new monitor because my work monitor, I was utilizing it, and for work I actually took a old television screen, actually flat panel television, and it was over my workstation, my work workstation. And I was utilizing my work monitor. So when I got the huge box to send back everything, I had to figure out how to do this. So I don't think I like how close this is. So I got a new 20. Let's see if we can move this back and see what. Is that hitting the window now? All right, what'd that do? Let's see. And I had to move the lights then. So then they're making all kinds of new. Ooh, that's interesting. New shadows. And some stuff here and some stuff over here. So, all right. So today what we're going to be looking at is it's a very interesting concept. It's one of the lessons very early on that I saw. I think it may have been through the Python, through the Google class, kind of when Python got brought over to Google. So it might be 10, 15 years ago. But what the idea is to bring in something either from a file or from a website. I think we're actually going to go to a website, pull in some contents from a file, parse it, break it up, and then go through and count the words, and then go ahead and then pull that in and then sort and go from there. So, all right. So if you're new here, thanks for joining us. We do one subject at a time, one topic at a time. But here we are. We got to break this out, and there's a lot of pre-work before you can even get to the work. So let's just go ahead and get started. Okay. So I need to remind myself what the actual web address is for this. I ran across it last night, and I'm going to have to look at it again. So let's bring this over here. Yeah, the screen that I have tilts now. It's a curved screen. Don't know how I feel about it. Got to get used to all this new stuff. So Nico, if you're here, I hope you're doing well today. All right. Let's scroll down and look for, that's leap year. There's the Powerball. Here's the Raven. All right. So the Raven is a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. And the reason why we're using this is because it's here we are. Because it is public domain. So I can't get sued for using it. So there's a lot we need to deal with. So import URL lib. Yep, URL lib. So if you do not know what URL lib is, it is wow, that took a while to import. What did that say? URL lib is not used. Okay. dir on, and then we're going to alias this to, it's not that bad, URL lib. So what does this do? It helps us interact with web pages. So that's not a lot. So let's do help on URL lib. Now, here's a perfect example when a library turns into a package. So we see that we have error, parse, request, response, and then robot parser. So if you look, these are not all the way imported. You have to explicitly import them. So we're going to do this right here. Dot request as URL. We're going to bring this back in. So now when I do URL, I have a module and it's blah, 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 blah. So help on URL. And here we are. So this is a lot more information. Let's bring this over so we can see. And save as Raven download. All right. I have that saved. And so now this one is too large for us to actually see everything in here. So we're going to use our dir on URL. So if we look really close, first thing, URL open. No, you're fine. I just can't twist all the way. Have a good day, okay? All right. So let's see what URL open does. Help on URL.URL open. Oh my goodness, more stuff. Let's see. We pass URL data must be an object specific blah 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 blah. So here's the URL we're going to use. Copy. Let's check and make sure it doesn't have anything crazy on it. So yeah, so it's literally just a page with the text of the poem. So if you do not know The Raven, it's Edgar Allan Poe wrote it in 1845, so quite a long time ago. Coming up on 200 years ago. I did not think it was 200 years. I knew it was over 100. For some reason, I thought it was right around the 1900s. But he liked poems like this that called them perfect poems, 100 lines long. So what we're going to do is we're going to download this. Oh, this white background is awful. Let's get this out of here. Sorry about that. That is garbage. But let's bring here, throw this up there. There we are. So, what do we call it? Page. What do I call it? Yeah, the page equals URL.URL open. Now this has to be passed in as a string. So I just passed in the web address, and I'll put it in the description right now so you can see and copy it. There we are. Raven URL. Alright, so if you're just joining us, what I've done is down in the description below, I added the URL address for the Raven, so you can go and play around with this. So now the first thing we have to do is we need to bring this in and see what all this does. So page. What is page? What does it do? Okay. So it is a response. So what, and this is the best practice that you need to do. So dir on page. What can I do with this object? So if you think about it, a page, a web address, it's just information that comes back to your computer, and typically your browser goes through it, turns it into something pretty, and goes like this. So right now it's just a text file, right? We don't need all that anymore. So it's just a text file. Let me make sure that it can be seen and text. So it's just a text file. So if we think about it, so if we're there and we have just a file and it's a text, there we are. Not that. All right, cool. So then what we need to do is pull the text. How can we pull the text? Page dot read. Let's see what page dot read will do. Help page dot read. All right. Read and return into n bytes. Okay, so maybe we're getting a little warm of what we need to be doing. So now let's do read, because we want to read the page. Hey Nico, how are you? Oh, sorry about that. Yep. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, no, everything's acting weird today. Let me go ahead, and I've only been on for about 12 minutes. Let me tell you, 13 minutes. So you haven't missed much, Nico. And it just dawned on me, I haven't even pulled up Discord yet. I had to restart my computer again. So I've been having a week. Had to send back a monitor for work because they finally sent me the stuff to send back the equipment. So then I had to get a new monitor because I had been using actually a television panel for my work because I needed that much space. And it was really handy because what I would do is I'd split the screen. So I'd basically have two full-size monitors on the same screen. So it was very handy. And now my hard drive is just about to die. So it takes forever. Yeah, I got the new monitors, hooked up everything. Finally took me a day to get the right cables because I've not seen an HDMI to a DisplayPort connector. Because I have one monitor, which is an okay monitor, but it's a low-end monitor. I have that going from like a AV, the old pin. It's not a red, green, blue. Let me see if Discord is even opening. All right, so what we're doing today is, if you're just dropping in, what we're doing today is we're going to download the Raven poem. So I said in the title that we're going to we're going to find the top 10 words used in the poem The Raven. So there's a lot of pre-work that needs to go into this. So I think I just saved the description, the link for the URL that we're going to be using right here. I put that down in the description in the video, so you can click over there. And yeah, and I had to move my lights, so the lights are on because the monitor I have is now taller, so the lights that I used to have sitting behind the screen now are off to the side, so all this coloring is really, really weird. So maybe I need to have a light on this side of me. I think that's actually what I might do. And I can't get Discord to open. Nothing wants to open today properly. All right, so what we're doing is first we need to bring in the package URL lib. And right now, all we're going to be using is the URL lib.request. So we're specifically, because this is a package. So if you go and start with URL lib, you'll notice that it looks a little bit different. You don't get much back when you do help, because that's where it's gone from a module to a package where you explicitly have to bring it in and then explicitly import the package inside. So go ahead and try what I'm talking about with a import of URL lib, and then do help on URL lib, and then you'll see that not very much information comes back. Then you have to explicitly import one of the packages in it. All right, so we are looking at the page. So I have this method of acquiring, going and looking, and I'm going to a page. I'm opening up a page, and I'm now have the page object. So now what I want to do is I want to read the page object. So as we looked here, we looked at this. This technique is what I highly recommend, is where each step you make a new object and you go down a layer. So I go look at the page, I create the page object. Then now I'm going to read the page. So and I can read, I did dir on page, and here's all the stuff I can do with my page object. And if we look really close, I just want to read. So now, page, not age, page dot read. So now I have read. So now I have a read object. Oh, this is so bad. Okay, I wonder if I point that up some. Nope. There we are. And I went to go turn on my computer this morning, and the monitors wouldn't come on. So I'm using the exact same ports, but it just would not come on. And now Discord won't open. Nico, can you do me a favor if you're still here? Can you go into Discord and tell everybody that I'm live, please? And then if Discord decides to open, I'll be able to unmute it and hear anything up. Do I even have my speakers on? No, I don't even have to turn my speakers on. Just turn my speakers on. All right. It's been a morning. Okay. So now I've gone to my page. I've read my page. Now what do I do? Let's run this. Bring this into memory. Oh, okay. Hang on. So now here I am. This is a little out of... Let's check this out. Print. Thank you, Nico. I'm gonna give up on Discord. So, all right. I'm trying to remember. That should have handled. Oh, this is in bytes. Okay. Now we've talked about this just a touch. All right. Come on. And here we go. So now this is in, if you look really, really close, right here. This downloads, and it even tells us in page dot help in page dot read in bytes. So let's see, type read bytes. So it's going to act just a little bit different. So now what we need to do is check this out. Let's change this a little bit. The actual texts. So what can I do with text? Let's see. Let's look at decode right here. All right, so what does decode do? Sorry, I can't move that fast. I tweaked my neck yesterday at jiu-jitsu, so I'm a little sore and a little slow. So I'm beat up. Oh, and Friday I got stung by quite a few yellow jackets. I was mowing my parents' house, and around the pool, I hit a nest of yellow jackets, and my ankle is extremely swollen, and I'm beat up quite a bit. So all right, help on text. Decode. Okay, decode the bytes using. So let's see, what will this do? So when I turn this into not that, here we are. Pardon me again. Text dot decode. Does this say that it returns? What does it return? Encoding method, built-in bytes instance. Decode the bytes using code C, register encoding. All right. So what'd that do? I think it turned it into regular string. And then I changed my mind. Read, then text equals read dot decode. Print text. There we go. See now how pretty this is, and this looks exactly like in our format on the website. So all right, I know this sounds really, really weird, but there's different types of strings, and not all strings are the same. So when it has a B in front of the string, it's not a string, it's bytes, and you have to handle that a little bit differently, and then you're able to, and I believe then the opposite of this would be encode. Let's go ahead and look, and then you can turn it back into bytes. Don't hold me to this, but let me see if my memory. Dir on text, and we should be able to then encode it. Bingo. So then if I hit text dot encode, I turn this back into bytes. So you have a circular solve right here. Encode and decode, you can go back and forth and have it circle, and have it go from bytes to a byte string, or just bytes, because it's still within here, and we go. So all right, so step one to just get the text. Step one actually had 4 steps. That's what I guess and I've kind of been obsessed with that, been talking about that with my parents, and my wife was sharing some things that she's been doing at work, things that go into a process in industry that nobody even knows is happening to ensure that things down the supply chain line, everything works perfectly. So there's things that there's raw materials that we use every day, that we have no idea the amount of effort that goes into it, and the amount of cost that is spread out through all the goods that we use. It's really mind-blowing. And especially the amount of quality and quality assurance that things go through. All right, I'm about to lose my mind that Discord is not working. Where's Task Manager? I want to see. So, more details. Isn't even showing that Discord is even trying to open. Oh, actually, there it is. I'm gonna. Looks like it's doing an update. And now Task Manager just froze. Okay. There we go. So I had to go do a, even though it didn't have a tab, I had to come over and do a hard shutdown. All right. Finally. There we go. Thank you. There's Nico. And boom. Okay, cool. Thank you, Nico. All right, let's get rolling. So now that I have 0, so now what I need to do is now we need to start the real. So here was the work, here was the setup. I like to call this set. You have setup and teardown, and it's everywhere. Oh, and we need to then close. Technically, I should put this in a context manager, but I don't want to deal with this now. So now we need to close the website because we have a connection. This is always best practice. So there. Let's see if that order works. Yeah, it works. All right. Do you guys just see a black screen? You've got to be kidding me. What in the world is going on? Okay, can you guys hear me okay? Yep. Vinky is exactly right. That is the context manager right there. I've got to figure out why in the world. Okay. No, it does not. Oh, with the context manager, yes. Vinky is exactly right. The context manager, when it dumps into the... let me figure out why in the world... Oh, when I... Did it go blank when I opened up my... You've got to be kidding me. Hang on a second, everybody. I'm about to lose my mind. So I opened up. There it went for a second. Okay. I'm about to go bananas today. Because I did not. My last resort is I didn't want to stop the live stream because then it literally becomes a... All right. Actually, let's go ahead and put this in a context manager. Vinky is exactly right. All right. Let's see. I haven't used a context manager in Python in a long time. Let's see. Let me go get... Let me check. Do I even have anything in here with? Yeah, I don't want to slow us down. That'll actually be a good thing for us to talk about tomorrow, because I'm on the fence about doing the shopping list. But context managers are great because it allows you force Python to handle any of the opening and closing, so you don't have to get into, am I closing it at the right time? Is it because it's the most, when you allow Python to handle most of these things, it's kind of like enumerating, and the built-in functions, it goes all the way down to the base code, the source code, and runs it in the most efficient manner. Wow, this lighting is awful. Thank you everybody for bearing with me today. Let's see, we have a few folks today, so awesome. So, all right. So I have my text. Now there's also, we talked about reading the line and then going back and rereading the line. All right, so let's test and make sure. All right, text is still here. All right, we didn't read line by line. So if we were to have gone through and read line by line, it would move down through the object. And basically it's like once you read it, we ran into this issue the other day when we said go look at index -1, pull out index -1, that object, and then, or index 19, and then we sent it, and then we removed it from index 19, and then we said, okay, now go back and look at index 19. Well, there's only index 1 through 18 now, so be very wary, depending on the use or the case that you're using, of am I reading this one at a time, or am I storing it all in memory and then going to go through it? Forgive me, guys. Okay. God, everything is just not in the normal spot. Okay. So now that we have the text, we need to move and put this in something that we can then begin to count, because we want to count all the occurrences of all of the words. So I want to know how many times all is in here. I want to know how many times fantastic is in here. So we need to go ahead and get started with this. So if you're just jumping on, what we're doing is we're going through the famous poem, The Raven, by Edgar Allan Poe, and I've put the description down below. So I have this URL down in the description, so you can go down there and grab that, and you can follow along with while we're doing this. So all right, let's see. So as I have the text, let's see. I don't like that. Yeah, I hate that. There we go. Better. All right, so we've closed the page. The text is I'm going to do counter. It's just going to be a dictionary. So if we really just think about this, we're going to go through everything. We're going to go through this one time, and we're going to start at the top, and we're just going to go boom, boom. Well, first we need to separate this. So, any idea how we need to break this up? So we have the text. Text. What's the best way to do this? So then, what do we want to call this? Let's look at this. Oh, bingo. So this is going to be a huge file, or a huge list. So what I did, let's go back. So what I did is I called text and I ran split on it, because text is a string. And to remind you, dir on text, there's a variety, bingo. Split. So what does text? You can do text or string, split. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, because I just did that. Text dot split. Split. So So what does it do? Build split. Return a list. Okay, return a list of words in a string using sep as the delimiter string. If, this is important, the delimiter according to split in the string, none, the default, means according to, means split according to any white spaces. So basically, if there's a space in the text, it will split on that. Does that make sense? So let's go back here to the text. We can look at this. So anytime there's a space, it will, a white space. So a space and a white space, same thing. It will break apart. So I will go from here to here. Now if we look, if I think, what? Oh, we didn't assign this. Page, text, broken. What do we want to call this? Words. Creating variable names is still one of my weaknesses. So text dot split. Yep, split. So words. Here we are. So if we look really, really close, I should also then have, we're going to have some weirdness that we're going to have to handle. We got some quotation marks. We're going to have to figure out how we want to handle that. Well, now, so we just made it. So words is a list. So let's double check this. Yep, list. So what can we do to a list? Copy, count, index. All right, so index. Yep. So let's do words dot index. Let's see. Is there a return string? Or let's look at this. All right, so it doesn't have the return because I was concerned it was just going to have, because if we look back at text, we have, I wasn't sure, that is a return new line. So new line return, if I use either of those terms, it's the same thing. So let's look right here. So that's the header, that's the next one, new line, and then bingo. So let's now print this in a pretty way, and then we can look at it. Print text. Come up here. Here, new line. So same thing as new line, then new line to get this down here. And I thought this may be actually accounted for in our, couldn't remember, let me rephrase, couldn't remember if that was going to be in here. So now we have the words. So now does anybody have an idea of how we need to then iterate through this? Pardon me. Maybe if I drink my juice, well, my 50% juice. It's energy juice and it's 50% juice in there. I think it's got a lot of water too, so I usually feel good. I had my electrolyte drink already today. So we need to iterate through this for word in words. Now, think about human brain as you would do this. Text. Let's do pass so this doesn't throw up. There we go. We do text. Hey Dax, how are you doing? Split on new line character. That's a great point. I don't know it because we're going to go through and look at lines. We're going to look at words. So what I was looking at earlier was I could not remember if this was going to be accounted for in the split, but I think since it is an instruction, it was not in the list, and I just couldn't remember if we were needed to account for, like, if a word like door, if door occurred in here. Now also, if we look at this, door and door with an exclamation point. That will be two different uses of door, and we need to account for that. So thanks for joining us today, Dax. Hope you're doing well on your weekend. Hope if you watched football yesterday, hope it went well for all of the teams that you like to follow. Let's see. So now, basically, we're going to iterate through all the words. It's going to say, all right, is 1845 in our counter? If not, add it and do 1. Then go blah, 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 blah. Come through. Is the in our counter dictionary? If not, set it to 1. Set its key to 1. But if it is, bind that key and increment its value by 1 because we just had it. So let's see what that would look like. All right. So if word not in counter. So let's think about this. So this is the equivalent. So if word not in counter, so this is the first occurrence. This is the way you need to think about it. This is the first. This is going back and forth, and don't worry, this drives me bananas as well for my true and false and then not true and false. So true and falses, I hated those questions more than multiple choice because if they then had a not in there, it threw me off. So this first occurrence, if word is okay, if word has first occurrence, making that note so I can remember anybody else coming behind me. So now, okay, so this didn't exist before, so then counter, then my key is the word, and I'm setting it to 1. So this is basically the first occurrence. So I need to set my value. So I'm taking my dictionary, my counter object. I'm setting my key to my word, and then I'm setting my value to 1 because this is the first time it has occurred. Else, that means word has already been Is that observed? Oh, whoa. I did not know that in Spider that if you put a comment, it does not automatically default. Oh, where'd my 1 go? All right. So here I am. So now counter word. So now let's go through and make sure. This means it's already been observed once. So then I need to increment by 1. Does that make sense? Anybody have any issues or not sure exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing or how I'm doing what I'm doing? So the human brain, if this is the first time I'm seeing this word in the list, I'm able to go and check the list. Is it already on here? No. Then basically then I go, okay, then add it to the counter and set the key to 1. So then else, if it's already been observed once, okay, I do have this in here 1 time. So now, now let's make it 1 more than it was the time before. That's what this else does. So now, all right, so let's run this. Now let's look at counter. So we need to do a variety of things. So now with a dictionary, we need to understand that it's a hashable object. Look at all these. There's a ton of 1 occurring words. Now we could possibly have an issue where if we have slight variation, we could have a cap. So don't forget, strings are very specific. So to remember, the is not equal to the. Oops. Those are not the same because they have to be exactly the same. Same capitalization in the exact same location. So we could do this one of two ways. Now we could get really down into the nitty-gritty and remove any special characters. I don't think I want to deal with regex, regular expression today. I have not played around with regular expressions in quite a few years. So we would be stumbling and bumbling through this. We could make sure that we lower everything here. How about we do that? Let's remind ourselves. As lower, make a copy. Let's see. So we have test. True. Then we do help dot test dot lower. That's what I want to look at. Return a copy. So it returns a copy. So okay. Technically, let's check something. Word equals word dot lower. I don't know if I can do this in the for loop, but we're reassigning it. Returns a copy. Let's see what happens. And counter. Does everybody understand? Everybody following what I'm doing so far? So I want all lowercase characters. I don't want to deal with anything absurd where if it's a the, I want it the. I don't care that it's capital, if it has a capital T in it, or if it's all capital. I do not care. I'm just wanting to go through and look and see how many occurrences, because we can go back and do text, print text, because we had the right here and we have the right here. So right now, before we added this, these would be counted separately. And also, word the raven. So we'd have at least two capital thes and then possibly a whole bunch of other the. And I saw one earlier. It was towards the bottom, right? The floor. There we go. And if we looked and lifted, so if we have lifted dash, we'd also have possibly a lifted. So now we need to bring this in. So now there's a problem with a dictionary. You cannot bring in, it's very challenging to sort a dictionary. So give me 1 second. I have a very clean way of doing this, because a dictionary is hashable, so it's very searchable, it's very fast. But the downside is it doesn't have it in any certain order. So it is putting things and pulling things out and editing things, and Python is handling this all for you, and it's doing this in a very, very fast, very, very efficient manner. So give me a second. Sorted. All right. So now we need to look. So we have our counter. But Python has so many things that are so awesome for us. So check this out. So we have counter dot items. If I can spell items, right? Yep, items. Bingo. So now I have a list. Very, very quickly. And it's still dictionary. So if we look really close. So now I have my words and I've gone back. Word count, counted words. Equals counter dot items. So check this out. It doesn't like my syntax because there we go. Because I can't type today worse than normal. So counted words. No, I wanted to type on counted words. Bingo. Dictionary items. So this is still pretty fast. But if you look really close, it looks like a list. It looks really close like a list. Well, what can I do? What can I do to? So here's the thing that is super important. Dir. It's like what can I do to this object? So that's why you want to get so used to. Let me move this up. Sorry. There we go. What can I do to this object? That's what your dir. That's what your dir is for. So counted words. So I can do a lot. Okay. All right. But I can sort this because it's a sequence, right? So I want you to think about this. Counted. All right. So technically, looks a lot like a tuple, but we can order it. So yeah, that's going to be a little odd, but we can order this. But oh my gosh, look at this. The occurs 57 times. So I bet that's going to be towards the top of our list. So we need to come through here. Sorted words. So check this out. We're going to pass in counted words. Well, first we're going to do sorted. Everybody knows sorted, right? We've used this once before. I think. And we're going to pass in counted words, but we got a problem. So let's do this. Because if we run this, we're gonna have an issue. Sorted words. If we look really close, it's in alphabetical order. So we've actually done this. We've done this once before. So I don't want to sort by the first. We need to sort by the last. So we've done this. Anybody remember how we solved this? We did this with our horse example. Anybody? So we're going to pass in the object of our x because we're going to use key. So this is so cool. So help on sorted. Sorted is a already built-in function. Takes an iterable, returns a new list. Key none, reverse defaulted to false. Key is defaulted to none. But we're going to do x minus 1, the last object. You could do that last object, second object. We know it's a tuple, but we're getting fancy. We want it done by the last one. So now, all right, so now we're going to come in here and let's see. This is in ascending order. So it's going to be the lowest one first. So we have 2 issues. So our key is last and our reverse is true. So now let's check this bad boy out. Now let's see what happens. Sorted words. Now it's a very long list, so it gets chopped off at the top. So now let's print sorted words, and let's do the top. Let's do the top 20. So since this is a list, check this out. So the occurs 57 times, and 38, I 27, my 24. Now, all right, so this isn't that pretty. So let's clean this up a little bit. For word count in sorted words. So what am I doing here? I'm going through sorted words, which is this list object right here. And inside, so program your brain to look at this as stuff from comma to comma, comma to comma. So this is the temporary variable. Let's go back a step. I didn't shorten this. There we are. So here I am. So I'm going through, inside sorted words are little teeny tiny tuples. So now what I need to do is I want to then break these out. So since as I go through each iterable, each iter in this iterable is a tuple with 2 objects. So I am completely legal. We're just going to unpack this. So for word and count, print word and count. Now this is going to be a lot cleaner. Okay. So we could try to buffer this, but now we said the top 10. So let's clean this up a little bit more. Rerun this. Here are the top 10 words that occur in the poem, Edgar Allan's poem, The Raven. Didn't take us very long, but these are all the steps that go into it. So the 57 and 38, I 27, my so on and so on and so on. So there we go. How long we been on today? Yeah, I am a little sluggish today. The yellow jackets are the yellow jacket stings are I think getting to me more at my ankle. My calf and my ankle is so swollen. I try to keep ice in it, but I take Benadryl and I get really, really sleepy. So is there anything pressing we want to talk about today? Because as you can see, we had 2 parts. We come and get the information, go to the URL, download it, pull it. Then we come in here and we break it out. We walk through and we count. We observe. Is this the first time we've observed it? Or is this more than once we've observed it and we have to increment? Then we begin to unpack, sort, and then only care about the top 10. So that's our quick topic for today. I know I need to work on the lighting even more than before, because now the lights are in a different spot. The camera's in a different spot because the new monitor, and had to restart the computer because when I tried to unsleep the computer, it did not see the new monitor. So I don't know if that's going to be an everyday thing, because that's going to drive me bananas. So is there anything we want to talk about before we get done today? Because I don't think I have much else I want to discuss. So I'm going to check something on the page and see. Because we had quite a few people. So actually, let me actually show something. I've lied. There is one thing I do want to share. And this is absolutely very cool. No, that's not it. Don't want to show that. Can't block that. Can I show that? No, I don't want to show that. Yeah, so my last video that I actually published is the number triangle. I think we talked about it, and then we talked about it a lot on the live streams. To give you an idea, it's the fastest video that I've had to 1,000 views. Second place is, so it's right now it's not just at 1,000 views, it's at 1,208 views. The closest, so that video is coming up on maybe like 24 days old, 25 days old. And the second place video only has like 100 views on it. So thank you everybody for watching that. I think I've grown and gained so many more subscribers from that video alone and these live streams, because I've gained in the past 2 weeks, I've gained 100 and something subscribers. So let's see. Last week I gained 50, and I can't break it up. But yeah, I had been averaging about 100 subscribers a month every 28 days, and now I'm at 184. So everybody who's joining these live streams, I really appreciate it. You guys have been very gracious to hang out with me all day, especially Nico, sitting here and hanging out for an hour or two each day. Well, we've had some folks drop in. We just finished up coding, counting the words in Edgar Allan's Poe, The Raven, and we're using that because it's public domain, because it's over 100 years old. I did not know it was almost 200 years old. It's 180 years old. It was written in 1845. So what we did is we downloaded, I have the link down in the description below. You can go and grab that. But what we did is we used the URL package. We read the page. We pulled the contents. We had to convert it from bytes into a string. We decoded it. Then we turned it into a dictionary items object right here. And then we counted. We went through and counted, because what we did is we used a dictionary to iterate through. And basically what we did is, if it wasn't present in the dictionary, we set the value to 1, and then, or if it already was in the dictionary, we incremented up by 1 more. So this right here, this took me a long time to wrap my head around what this was, but in Python, that's a completely legal statement. So we have a value on one side being incremented, and we had the key on the other. So we basically say, hey, go look at this key, go grab this key, and the value, make it 1 more, because I just noticed this word 1 more time. So go ahead and do it. Where here I'm taking this key. If this key is not present, so let's go through 24, 25, 26, and 27 one more time, because I have a feeling there may be somebody. So right here, human brain, has this word been noticed before? If no, put it in the dictionary, set the value to 1. If it is in there, if it has been noticed before, make that value whatever time it is. If it's the second or if it's the 5th time, make it one more than it was before. And then here what I'm doing is I'm taking that dictionary and then I'm splitting it into basically a tuple of I'm breaking up the key and the value. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Taking the key and value and turning it into a tuple. Since it's only a key and just a number of a count, it's really, really easy. So then now, each of these in my sorted words, which I sort here by the last number because I want to know the largest numbers, and I want it in reverse because I want it in descending. And then here I just unpack it and I make it pretty. And I come right here and I do this. So, all right, we've had some more folks drop in. Any questions that anyone wants to talk about before we drop for today? Because I don't see me doing 2 hours today because I'm already pretty groggy. My ankle's a little beat up and I'm frustrated with the lighting is atrocious. Got a new screen yesterday. No, 2 days ago, but did not stream yesterday because I did not check the ports that I had. So my motherboard that we've been trying to get around, 2 of the HDMI ports are not working. So I have a red, green, blue, a digital port, and an HDMI port. Well, I thought I had plenty of HDMI ports. So the new monitor that I got yesterday, I had to then go back out and find a HDMI for the back of the monitor and then a display port to go into the motherboard. And that was a little bit more annoying and more challenging because at first I thought I needed an adapter. Nobody had an adapter, and I was like, well, wait a second. Let me see if I have already the ports, the proper plugs on the port, and they had it. I went and got it at the store and brought it home, started hooking it up, had to try to rearrange because the old monitor that used to be my good monitor before I sent back the one from work, which was weird, but just starting the process of finishing things up. So, all right, I know I've rambled a little bit, but any questions, anything anybody wants to talk about real fast before we drop for today? And then we'll probably do the shopping list tomorrow. Actually, I may not stream tomorrow because tomorrow's a holiday. Yeah, I may not stream tomorrow, so we may do the shopping list on Tuesday. So just think about that and be aware. But all right, going once, going twice. Anybody on Discord Nico, is there anything you're having an issue with? Vinky, anything you want to talk about before we drop? All right. I have a few minutes. I can hang out for just a little bit. I'm getting pretty groggy though. I took a Benadryl for my calf. I got stung by yellow jackets Friday, and it was pretty bad. I actually got my fingers too because I was swatting them out. I thought it was ants. All right, Dax. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good Sunday. Hope you have a good rest of the holiday weekend. I have a feeling you're probably off tomorrow, so I hope you have a good time. My kids are out of school, so probably hang out with them, and my mom's in town too. Gonna try to get some things done around her house. All right. Anything else pressing? If not, we'll go ahead and wrap this up, and I will see you all probably Tuesday because I don't think I'll have time. If I end up, if the timing works out, I'll jump on and we'll do something cool tomorrow. And then, all right, okay. All right, hang on. Nico's got some stuff. Let's look and see what Nico has. Oh, is it starting to pixelate in my back over here? Ew, Okay, Nico, I'm sorry, I'm not following. Okay, I think I got you. All right, well, if there isn't anything else that thank you, Alex. You have a good day too. I think you have a full day, kind of like I do. Me, Dax, and you still have have all day. Everybody else, I think, is more on the other side of the planet. So everybody have a good day and a good night. And if we don't talk tomorrow, I'll see you all Tuesday. All right, everybody be safe. Bye.